All right, before we get started, quick shout out to PT Breakfast Club. It's a weird meeting of the minds. Me, Tony Maritato, and Dave Kittle, live on YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Real talk, zero jargon. Probably a little bit of jargon. And the conversations PTs actually want to have. Come hang with us live again Tuesday, Thursdays, 8:30 Eastern on YouTube. You could just follow at PT Pintcast on the YouTubes. We've got a pretty cool, weird, I call it a ricochet. It doesn't make sense until it makes sense. The best fake physical therapist on LinkedIn. That's what we're calling him today. It'll make sense, I'm telling you. Never treated a day in his life, but somehow keeps getting mistaken for a PT all the time. Currently obsessed with connecting wellness and longevity to the profession of physical therapy. Please welcome back to the show, Hunter McWhorter. Hunter, welcome back to the program, my man.
Thanks for having me. Excited to be back.
What does it mean? I introed you. Fake PT, best fake PT on the internet. You're mistaken for a PT. Why? Like, how did that start? Why? Where does this come from?
Yeah, I always want to be a physical therapist and just decided to stay in the field without getting the DPT after my name.
First of all, maybe not a horrible financial decision, but keep going. You found a niche. You found a narrow angle. Keep going.
Yes. Yeah. And now seeing where it is, I'm like, hey, this might actually not be the worst, like you're saying, from a financial standpoint. And so been in it for so long now. And I guess my content resonates every once in a while with people when I post on LinkedIn, and recruiters just see, oh, you worked at PT Solutions. Oh, you've done stuff with physical and web PT. Like, surely you have to be a PT. And then I get fun traveling PT roles offers all the time. I get all sorts of opportunities, and it's always fun when they're like, wait, what? And I've even asked AI, I'm like, does it say anywhere on my LinkedIn that I'm a physical therapist? No. Even AI is tricked by it. So that's how I'm like, I probably need to really focus on some stronger rebranding. So we're just embracing it now.
All right. So you're PT adjacent. You're sort of entrenched, but you come at it with a different angle. So let's make this more of rapid fire questions. Cool. Answer one word, one sentence, one paragraph, one, soliloquy, whatever you want to do. You've said this before. I want you to explain why. You think PTs are uniquely positioned for a $1 trillion wave. Help me understand this. I wouldn't mind getting a couple of drops of water from $1 trillion wave. What's this mean?
Yeah. So I feel like I didn't realize this until recently that most patients see their PTs more often than their actual primary care doctors.
Oh, very much so. Yeah.
Whatever. So they're seeing them all the time. And there's also an increase in education around the patient of, hey, I want to live longer. Hey, I want to be healthier. You're seeing this health trend with wearables, with data. And it's slowly becoming a $1 trillion industry of longevity and wellness. And because of the frequency of which PTs see these people, and because of the relationships they build, I feel like it's a really easy way for PTs to start seeing it and be like, hold on, you're sleeping terribly. Have you thought about trying a supplement that might help you with sleep? Like little things like that. You're not shoving anything down anyone's throats. You're simply saying, like, I hear what you're saying as a person. And so here's some solutions for you that might help. Or, hey, you're really struggling with weight loss. Like maybe there's something else out there, a medication or something like that could help. And it's just helping leverage that relationship and the time you're investing in people.
Why are PTs so anti this? Like it's almost a visceral reaction. Where's that? It feels like it's like this isn't our operating system or something like that. And we can't, it's difficult to remove, but some embrace it, but most don't. Where's this come from?
I think a lot of it just comes from the education system. They worked so hard to become doctors. There was such a push to transition from the master's program to a doctor's program that they're like, we have clear swim lanes. We have to stay in because we worked really hard to get here. And I don't want to jeopardize my future, my business. Totally fair. But at the same time, it's, hey, do no harm. Like we want to help make people do better. If there's alternatives to it, what do you lose from just suggesting it when they could go to Rufus on Amazon and it'll tell them, hey, you have this, here's this suggestion, here's that suggestion. And it's like people are trusting AI and the internet now. Why not try and help steer them in a healthier, better direction?
Yeah. You got a hot take, and I like hot takes. I'm going to quote you, and then you got to back it up. You said the farmer's dog has better messaging than physical therapy. Break that down. What is the farmer's dog? Is that like one of those box subscriptions that comes in the mail?
Yes, that their commercials are just heart-wrenching. They're almost up there with like the please adopt this animal commercials where it's
in the arms of an angel.
Yes.
Sarah McLachlan.
Exactly. The Sarah McLachlan special. But Farmer's Dog, they do a great job. And it's like no human should ever have to eat processed foods for every single meal. And you resonate, you're like, yeah, that's true. Why should we be eating heavily processed foods? And then it hits you with your pet shouldn't either. Here's a Farmer's Dog, like natural, organic food. It helps with their wellness, all of this. Like it improves their quality of life. And it makes it so short and resonates with you. Like, yeah, no one should be doing this. Like, why would anyone eat heavily processed food for every meal? It connects with PT. You hear some people say it's only good after surgery. It's only good if you're young. Like there's just so much mixed messaging that I feel like it could be super consolidated, especially when you see the ad campaign CrossFit put together for CrossFit, where it's like, wow, that's so clear. Take out CrossFit, put in PT, and boom, there's your clarity of messaging. And I just think more brands adopt it, yet PT is still the one that's like, we can do all these things and all these different flavors, but it just confuses the consumer.
I had a professor in communication school advertising. He said, you're going to build a fake campaign. We were actually doing real fake campaigns for real organizations in the community. So I thought that was brilliant because it felt like there were stakes. And he said, part of it is going to be a billboard, a bumper sticker, a t-shirt. And he said, on the billboard, you're allowed 7 words. On the t-shirt, you're allowed like 4. On the bumper sticker, you're allowed 5. Like he put a limit. He goes, you can have more, but every one more than that, you owe me $100. And 2 words in, it doubles. You owe me $200 for the second word. You got real clear real quick because you realized there were guardrails.
Yeah.
I feel like if you ask a PT a question to give a presentation, the first thing they do is this. They're going to inhale because you're about to get 7 paragraphs.
Yeah.
But that's not the right way to do it.
No, and I think it's so cool what you're doing with the APTA, different states, where I think recently you made a post about just like, hey, why isn't this clearly stated on the website? And that's
First
what kind of dawned on me of like, okay, hold on. There's all these brands watching football, watching time with family, and you're seeing how concise some of the messaging is on these commercials. It's like, why not? And then seeing that post really got me thinking like, what is going on?
Why do we resist that? Why do we want to use 200 when 2 words will do?
I mean, I'm just going to keep kicking the dead horse, but I think it was a push for doctors' physical therapy. You've worked your tail off. You've got your bills you got to pay. Like you're proud of yourself and what you do. And you want to make sure you do it to sort of fight against maybe that imposter syndrome of people naturally have it. Like, you're not a real doctor. And it's like, no, I am. And this is all the reasons why. Like,
yeah, to me, it's a justification of the degree. It's like, can't wait to tell you. And I think it comes from a good place. I know it comes from a good place because I know enough PTs who are guilty of doing it. They know they even do it. They can't help it because they got so much inside. They can't wait for it to pour out. My response would be, I want you to practice this. There's a great vocal coach who teaches people how to speak on stage. And his exercise is this. It's 3. So he says, I want you to speak for 5 minutes. Don't care about the topic. Hit record. Don't think about it. Speak about it for 5 minutes. Hit end. Do nothing. 24 hours later, bring the video up. Push play. But I only want you to listen to it. Just focus on the audio.
Yeah.
When you're done, maybe jot some mental notes down. Go away. 24 hours after that, I want you to come back. Push play. I want you to mute it. I only want you to watch the visuals. Same thing. When you're done, mental notes, 3rd day, I only want you to read the transcript. And you'll start to, the exercise I was taught in communication school, which mimics this, is you are performing sculpting. You're chopping away everything that doesn't need to be there. You're like, oh gosh, why did I say those 11 words when 2 will do? This only comes about with work. And if you do it, you get better at. How'd you get so good at speaking without filler words, Jimmy? I spoke with lots of filler words and then was forced by bosses in radio to listen to myself speak. And I got less crappy and less crappy and less crappy until I was pretty okay.
Yeah.
We don't, it's never part of the job, but it's part of the job. It is. But this is hard and it's not on the syllabus.
Right.
So that's not easy to train.
No. And who likes to hear their voice?
Not a lot of people. I was in radio for 15 years. Still never got used to it.
Yeah. Like I cringe coming on some of these podcasts. I'm like, oh, I have to listen to it again. And then to your point, it's like, why did I say that? What's going on? But it forces you, like you're saying, to get uncomfortable and to grow and really try. So I think that's a great idea that I might start adopting. Thanks.
Yep. All right. Finish this sentence for me. PT could change overnight if we just blank. What would that be? PT could change overnight, Hunter, if we just blank. I'm sure there's a bunch of things that could fit in this, but what's one?
Dang. I think just collaborate more. Like,
Okay.
put aside the egos. I think it would change overnight if instead of viewing the therapist down the street from you as like your arch enemy, be like, hey, there might be patients that I can't treat that they can treat. Like, they like treating it. I don't. I'm out of network with some. They're in network with some. Like, just finding small ways to recognize that everyone's in this together, and the collaboration is what really needs to elevate. Because I feel like in other healthcare silos, there's a lot more collaboration and a lot less animosity of like, oh, they're trying to steal from me. It's, hey, what are you doing well? What's working out? Let's figure out a way to collaborate and work together. Because I don't know if you're seeing this. So many people want to get into PT right now in terms of companies and in terms
Sure. Yeah.
like there's so much technology available to practices that are like probably very cheap because they're saying, hey, we just want reps. Just give us some feedback. That I think can really help where it's, hey, they have an Alt-G down the road. Maybe we can partner with them and help offset the cost of that for them, or just send some of our patients there for certain things. Like, I just feel like there's a huge opportunity to collaborate, and that's where it just doesn't seem to be encouraged or recognized.
Feels like there's probably more opportunities to collaborate than there are to compete, but we,
exactly.
myself included, we're probably built, or our default is defensive when it should be not offensive either, collaborative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Quick thanks to one of our sponsors keeping us on the air, Brooks Rehabilitation Institute of Higher Learning. That's Brooks IHL. They're simply a place PTs go when they want to get really good. Whether you're thinking about orthopedics, geriatrics, or pediatrics, residencies and fellowships at Brooks IHL help you become the clinician people rely on. More information right now, if that's you, if you're on the edge of a diving board thinking about a residency or fellowship, brooksihl.org. What got you interested, Hunter, in the wellness and longevity space in the first place? Again, you said at the top of the show, you're not a physical therapist, but what about the wellness, longevity, healthcare made you start paying more attention?
Yeah, understanding firsthand the brokenness of the system. So I was supposed to have my senior year of high school, a pretty simple back surgery. That was going to be a quick recovery, no PT necessary. Here you go. Took 7 years and 7 surgeries later before it finally got figured out what's going on and realizing, hold on, the system isn't working the way it's supposed to be. And then understood a lot about blood panel testing and realizing your body tells you a lot of what you need if you just listen to it. Like, it'll help you be preventative in that sense. And went down the rabbit hole, listening to various podcasts, reading different books. And then all of a sudden, I have a whoop. And so I started looking at the data differently and started seeing, okay, wait, if I sleep more and don't eat a meal later, my sleep improves, which then all these other metrics start improving. Like, what if I actually start trying to understand how all this comes together? And got the blood panel test, got on some supplements, and started realizing like, you mean gaining weight does take work because it's just ignoring it. Things like that just, I didn't realize how simple it was to sort of take ownership of your health and start finding hacks from alternative perspectives that don't necessarily say, hey, here's a surgery, here's a prescription, here's whatever it is, and we're going to keep you in the sick cycle because that's how we're making money off of you.
Yeah, I love that. Why does physical therapy as a profession need more non-physical therapists like Hunter who care about the profession? Why do we need that? Why is that a need and not a nice to have?
Yeah, I think because there's a bit of an echo chamber where everyone has the same ideas and everyone went to school. They all went to the same exact general course load and all training. And so when you have people come in that don't have that perspective, they can offer new ideas and they can say, hey, well, what if we try it this way? Or what if we do it that way? Let's try innovating this. And 2, PTs only know what they know. And so oftentimes when I was selling into some of these practices, they didn't know billing. And so had they had somebody that understood billing that they're willing to bring in and do things, it could have been a whole different world for them. And they could have been seeing 6-figure profit instead of 6-figure losses, things like that, where I think it just helps elevate the profession.
Let me ask you this. What can physical therapy as a profession learn from brands that communicate directly and simply with consumers? You mentioned CrossFit, you mentioned Farmer's Dog, but what are those things that they can learn from brands? You've done things like, I'm about to say a dirty word, bad word, selling. You've sold things.
Yeah.
Which I think is, I quote from my favorite Peloton instructor, I make suggestions, you make decisions, right? That's the simple way. Detaching yourself from the outcome is a great way to sell. I'm going to make a suggestion, you make a decision, and whatever decision, that's yours. But what can physical therapists, owners, clinicians, what can they learn from brands who communicate directly to consumers?
That it's a means for growth, that clearly it works because they're spending money into it. And if it wasn't working, they'd be saying, bye-bye, see you later. But I think healthcare as a whole is so used to potentially operating at a loss with insurance and all the other things that they have forgotten, okay, hold on. Consumers are out there. They want to get healthier. They want to stop living in pain. They want to do all of these things. Pharmaceuticals run the ads, and it gets them to go to their doctor to say, hey, what about this thing I saw a commercial on? Or pet food companies see it. There's so much there that I think if you just start viewing it from a lens of consumers are intelligent, they care about themselves now, and you're seeing an increase in general health awareness, why not help motivate people and meet them where they are?
This is a great time. Like, there's so much attention. Like, why? I was walking with one of my friends' kids the other day, and someone was smoking, and I remember the reaction from the kids. It was so weird to see someone in the wild smoking, but 20 years ago that was not weird, and 10 years ago it wasn't weird, and now it's like, look what that person's doing. And the kid reiterated to me why it was bad for you, and I was like, we're in a moment right now where there's a big spotlight on health, wellness, taking care of yourself, what's good or bad for you, just being aware. Right? There's no right or wrong way, or, there's no one way to do a lot of these things, but people are hyper conscious.
Yeah.
Your radar is on, where if you start giving them good signals over time, they're going to start nodding along with you. And maybe I make suggestions, you make decisions. Maybe they make a decision to now do the thing that you've been preaching for 20 years, but now they're ready to hear that song. And that's got to feel, it's a moment right now. We should take advantage of that.
Totally agree. And have you seen the research around the decrease in alcohol sales amongst the younger generation? It's this whole thing of there's an awakening, for lack of a better word, happening. And the PT is so primed for it. And it's crazy because I go to Crunch and they have PTs everywhere. They have treatment tables. They have hypervolts. They have Normatex. To anyone that doesn't know anything, they're like, hey, this is a physical therapist. Fine print says, no, that's a personal trainer that is cosplaying as a PT. But there's a business model there because Crunch pays for those people to be there.
Correct.
They have people that show up, that patients, clients that they have built relationships with. And so I think it's just showing there's a larger shift happening, and gyms are taking advantage of it right next to major physical therapy practices. It's like, how is this happening here? Like, what's going on? So I definitely think there's a unique opportunity.
It's happening in plain sight. Their cards are being shown, and a lot of our professionals looking at it and going, but they're trying to say no, when a lot of people, in my opinion, and it sounds like yours, should be saying yes. And how do we collaborate? Going back to that collaboration piece you mentioned before. Yeah. I want to say thanks to one of our sponsors, because that's something you can do. You can collaborate with sponsors. The episode brought to you today by Empower EMR, built specifically for physical therapy practices. It's the only EMR designed by PTs to think like a PT. See what makes them different at empoweremr.com. All right, Hunter, we're going to do a quick 3 questions in a row. The last one will be your parting shot, but rapid fire questions. Number 1, why should physical therapists care about this conversation that we just had about things like communication, collaboration, branding, saying it clearly? Why should they care about this entire conversation? This conversation is not on the syllabus at PT school, but why should they care?
Yeah, because come January, they're going to have to, when deductibles reset, when all of a sudden it's a lot harder to find patients and it's a lot harder to hit your numbers, and you're going to be overwhelmed with Medicare, which some people love, some people loathe. But now's the time to start thinking about it and giving yourself a 4-week head start, maybe to start saying, hey, let's just throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks, because we have openings on our schedule. We don't really have a clear path to fill it. What's the worst thing that can happen?
No messaging, no margin, no mission. So now you see attention goes to your mission. It's not just about the bottom line. The bottom line feeds your mission. No message, right? No margin, no mission. Question 2, what's something you believe that maybe the profession doesn't believe yet? What's something that Hunter knows to be true, believes to be true, that the profession isn't there yet on that you wish they were?
Yeah, supplements will not suddenly make you not a legit DPT. It's okay to recommend different supplements to people. It's okay to look into things like hormone replacement therapy, like things like that might actually benefit your patients. It's not going to suddenly put you on a watch list where the APTA will show up at your house and be like, you Googled this and we don't, this isn't on brand for us. Like, give us your license. Like, no, just try and learn. And worst case, you might start seeing some patients actually really respect you for that. And you gain tertiary business from that.
Yep. Last thing we do on the episode is called the parting shot. That's just your mic drop moment, your soapbox statement. What's the last thing you want to leave with the audience as we wrap up today? What's your mantra? What's the thing?
Yeah, I think the thing is as a practice owner, you control your own destiny. You don't have to continue to be beholden to the way things have always been done. You can find the companies, find the resources, find the partners out there to help make 2026 be a super successful year and not just have to feel like there's a gun to your head and you have to do the same thing over and over again.
Yep. At PT Pintcast and the website, ptpintcast.com. Subscribe, share the episode with a colleague if you think it'll benefit. And don't forget to come hang out with us on PT Breakfast Club. We do want to do a PSA share for something that's close to my heart. That's Team Gleason. They're helping people live with ALS, stay independent with tech, gear, and real support from therapists, from technology, from industry. ALS takes a lot. Team Gleason gives something back. Support them at teamgleason.org. Hunter, if someone wanted to connect with you, where do you want them to go? What's the best route or routes to reach out to you?
Yeah, LinkedIn. I'm super active on LinkedIn. Probably sickening to some people, but I'm there. So you can slide into the DMs. You can comment, do whatever you want there. And then my email, phone number, all that's listed there as well.
The greatest fake physical therapist on the interwebs on LinkedIn, Hunter McWhorter. We'd love to have you back on the show next month. Maybe we'll do like a quick marketing update and see how 2026 is going to play out for us. Hunter, thanks for the time, man.
Yeah, thank you.